Thank you, Madam Chair. I think those are great questions. I mean, this has a lot of important stuff. We want to certainly encourage property ownership in the state of Colorado. I'd say, which is something that I see worked against every day in this room. So I'm kind of confused here when the general direction of the legislation in this room is to push all this property into corporate hands. And here we have this, which is fantastic, but now it's getting and inserting the government into contractual negotiations. I mean, really, that property is always for sale. The nature of that property is it's for sale. Somebody, most likely, a company came in and offered, put money on the table. We don't know what the time frame that they have allocated is for that. They say we want to, and it's probably going to be some nonprofit that wants to, pile up a bunch of shipping containers for everybody to live in, since that seems to be the only way that housing will be affordable anymore. So instead of, again, actually dealing with the issues that we have in the state of Colorado of making things affordable, now we're taking the ramifications, we're taking the fallout of the bad decisions in this room and then saying, well, we're going to insert the government even more into trying to solve that. And the problem is we're going to end up with even more issues with that. The terms, conditions, as stated in the notice, must be universal and applicable to all potential buyers. Who's going to evaluate that? Who's going to be looking at these things? You have to mail the notice in English and Spanish. Why only those languages? I'm not advocating it should be more, but we have an official language, and now we're going backwards, and we're isolating, and we're further bifurcating the state rather. So this is just we have issues in our property ownership. That's a fact. But this room is consistently attacking property ownership, and then when you have landlords that are looking to get out of this space, then the government puts themselves in and puts their hand on the scale once again. Now, the sponsors are saying the government is not putting its hand on the scale, but it is intervening in this space. It is time is money. Getting government approval to do this stuff. So I would just like to have the General Assembly get backward. Let's move and look at the things that are actually causing the price of housing to go up. Asbestos is one, the overregulation is another. People work two jobs and can't afford a house at this point because regulation adds a third to a half. The regulation adds a year to the construction time frame. So these are peripheral issues, and I get that they make you feel good about solving something, but we are not dealing with the structural issues of the state of Colorado that has pushed property ownership into crisis. And I get it. The abolition of private property is ultimately the goal, but it is wreaking a serious effect on the citizens of Colorado.